Mahal ko siya, pero isa pala siyang Jin. I remember the first time I saw her. It was a rainy evening, the kind where the world feels like it's suspended between dreams and reality. I was walking home, drenched from the sudden downpour, when I noticed her standing by the bus stop, completely unaffected by the weather. Her eyes, like pools of dark, endless night, locked onto me. I couldn't look away. In that brief moment, it felt as though time itself had stopped, as though the universe had paused just for us to meet. There was something different about her, something impossible to explain. But I didn't question it then. I was too captivated, too drowned in by her presence. Her name was Amina, and when she smiled, it was like the whole world brightened. She had this strange, magnetic charm that I couldn't shake. In the weeks that followed, we would meet in the same spot every evening, always after the rain. She never seemed to mind the weather, it was as if the storm didn't touch her. I started to fall for her, deeper and deeper, until my feelings were undeniable. She became my world, and I felt like I had found something magical, something rare. But love, as I would soon learn, as a way of twisting even the poorest of hearts. One night, as we sat under the shelter of the bus stop, she told me something that would change everything. Her voice was soft, almost as if she was afraid of the words that were about to leave her mouth. I need to tell you something, she said, looking away as if to avoid my gaze. Something important. I waited, my heart hammering in my chest, as she took a deep breath. I'm not like other people, she continued, her voice trembling slightly. I'm not human. I looked, thinking it was some sort of joke, a test, maybe. What are you talking about? I asked, trying to keep the mood light. But Amina didn't laugh. She met my eyes with a depth I couldn't fathom, and the look in her gaze made my blood run cold. Imagine, she whispered, barely audible. For a moment, I thought I had misheard. What? I asked, my voice almost a whisper. She nodded slowly, confirming what my mind couldn't quite accept. A Jinn, she repeated. I am a spirit. Not from this world. Not from the human realm. I stared at her, at the face I had come to know so well, but it suddenly seemed distant, foreign. The rain fell harder now, the sound of it pounding on the pavement echoing in my mind. I was frozen, my doubts scattered, unable to process what she had just revealed. You're not human? I asked, the words tasting bitter on my tongue. She shook her head, her eyes filled with sorrow. I never wanted you to know, she said, tears swelling up in her eyes. I never wanted to hurt you, but I couldn't keep lying. I've fallen in love with you, too. But this isn't something I can change. I can't stay here, in your world. It's not meant for me. It was like the ground beneath me had given way. And my world, the one I had known with her, suddenly felt like it was crumbling. I don't care, I said, my voice shaking. I don't care if you're a jinn, or a spirit, or whatever. I love you, Amina. That's all that matters. But she looked at me, and in her gaze, there was an unbearable sadness. You don't understand. I can't live in your world. If I stay, if I keep seeing you, it will tear us apart. I will destroy everything you love. The silence that followed her words was suffocating. I could see it in her eyes, the conflict, the pain of knowing what she had to do. I wanted to scream, to beg her to stay. But I knew, deep down, that there was nothing I could do to change her reality. In the days that followed, Amina disappeared. She was gone, like a wisp of smoke, leaving nothing but the memory of her gaze, the memory of her touch, lingering like an echo in my mind. I waited. I waited for her to come back, but she never did. I kept telling myself that she would, that somehow this wasn't the end of our story. Months passed, and life moved on. I tried to forget, tried to force myself to leave as if nothing had changed. But I couldn't. Every time it rained, I would stand by that same bus stop, hoping to see her, to fill that pool again, even though I knew it was hopeless. The world felt emptier without her. I thought about her constantly, remembering the way she smiled, the way she loved, and how her eyes always seemed to hold a secret, one I would never truly understand. Then, on rainy evening, it happened. I was standing there, drenched, and my thoughts spiraling into the same dark place they always went when I saw her again. She was standing there, just like before, her eyes filled with that same intensity. But something was different. She wasn't looking at me like she had before, with longing and pain. Instead, she was watching me with something deeper, something almost resigned. I told you I would never be far, she whispered, her voice barely audible above the sound of the rain. I took a step toward her, my heart racing. You came back, I said, a mix of hope and fear flooding me. But why? Why now? She smiled, but it was a bittersweet smile, one that spoke of too much pain to be fully happy. Because I never truly left, she said, her voice breaking as she spoke. You've carried me with you all this time, haven't you? Even when you tried to forget, even when you tried to move on, it was there in every raindrop, in every quiet moment. I never really left. I reached out, wanting to hold her, to never let her go. But when I touched her, she felt different, colder, almost like she wasn't really there. I pulled my hand back, my heart pounding with the realization. Is this real? I asked, my voice trembling. Are you real? Her eyes, those same dark eyes, looked at me with such deep sorrow. I'm as real as the love you still feel for me, she said softly. But I can't stay. I can't belong here. And my time with you was always borrowed, and now, it's running out. Tears blurred my vision, but I didn't wipe them away. I couldn't. I just stood there, letting the rain wash over me, trying to hold on to whatever piece of her I still had. Before she left, Amina gave me one last look, a gaze that held more than words could ever say. There was no promise, no hope, just an understanding. Then, she was gone, disappearing into the night like a fleeting dream. I was left standing there, alone, in the rain, holding only the memory of her touch. But even after she was gone, I felt her presence. It lingered in the air, in the very fabric of my being. And for the first time in my life, I understood. Love doesn't always have to make sense. Sometimes, it's enough to simply feel it, even when you can't explain it. And as the rain continued to fall, I found myself waiting once more, not for her to return, but for the peace that would come with letting go. Because love, in its purest form, is not about possession. It's about giving, even when you know you can never truly hold on. The rain was softening now, and as I walked away, I felt her presence in the cold breeze, a soft whisper in the wind. I would always carry her with me. And maybe that was enough. Some loves are not meant to stay. But they teach us how to love, and that's something we carry forever.